think we've got stuff going. And now I'm going to go check out my profile to see if by some weird miracle it works. I wonder.
Will it actually do the thing?
Probably not.
Julie, do the thing.
No, the other thing.
She has a magic card,
Of course she does.
but what's oh, not actually. No, wrong person. Wrong person. No, she doesn't.
Not Julie.
Have, no,
Oh,
not Julie.
she
But
should.
she's from Korra. They don't have
They don't have a Korra
this.
set
Is
yet.
it's all yeah. It's all Avatar: The Last Airbender. But um, it is funny because what's the name of the? I mean, I was thinking Earth Kingdom people anyway. So, what's the name of the lady that greets them when they come to the Earth Kingdom city?
The
The creepy one. Let's see here. I'm looking.
It's okay. I'm sure I know who you're talking about, but I can't pull up like who it is. I'm not.
Um, the why can't I remember it? Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna do it, and the people that are wondering what the heck I'm doing in the chat are gonna be like,
You're being a bastard. It's fine.
oh,
Being an OCD nerd.
listen, I can't help myself. And so I'm looking at the Earth Kingdom characters. Judy. Remember the lady that shows up at their door and takes them on a tour, but like, and then eventually, I'll show you the picture. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay. I'm sure I remember that. I remember them getting the tour. I don't remember that character's name, but. Oh, okay. Yep. Yep. I didn't
So-
remember her name because she was not as
Yeah, she's one of
pivotal
the
a character.
she's one of the cultural ambassadors, and so what's really interesting in for her magic card
Okay.
is that she's a person with a name, but she's not a legend, which means you can put more than one of her into play at a given time, which is
Interesting.
flavorful because Judy there were a lot of Judys, so it's
Right.
actually very interesting. So just a little
Fun magic
Avatar:
fact.
The Last Airbender MTG lore, because that's happening. Yeah, my personal Facebook is once again not working. Um, oh, yeah, this is really weird. It won't fix it, so I'm just gonna have to get this sorted out anyway.
Yeah.
So, but in the meantime, let's just
We'll
rock
fix
and
it in
roll.
post.
Yeah, well,
Well, it's being shared. The Twitch stream feed has been shared into the Facebook.
I'm
group,
gonna
so
have
that's been
to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to write a. I'm gonna have to do some more research on that. But let me go ahead and bring us up over to the Twitch so I can see the chat and everything. All right, we are here.
shared. All right.
Let's get started. So, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast. My name is Steven Dutzman. I'm your host, and once again, I am joined by some of my best friends in the whole wide world. This week, we have a smaller crew. Jeff is not here. His daughter has a dress rehearsal for a play, and Amanda is recovering from traveling. I don't know if you guys have heard, traveling is very hard right now. So, the so she is kind of taken. She mentioned it to me, and I said, you know what, take the day off. We got this. This is a very special day for our podcast because we're actually going to be talking about our holiday gift guide. It's one of our favorite episodes of the year. The only scary part about it is that means that it is almost the end of the year. We actually will have just 2 more episodes left this
Oh,
year
wow.
before we close down shop, because we do always close down for the last 2 weeks of December because we are parents and we don't want to do that to ourselves. We are going to do one little change that I didn't tell either of these guys, but I'm going to tell everybody now before I
boy.
do introductions. Game of the year we're going to do in January.
Okay.
So we're going to do our game. We're going to
We do that every year, but yeah.
Well, we're doing it in January this year because I need more time to play all these games. So
Same.
I know
I'm just
there's
gonna
too
roll
many
with that.
games.
There are
Can
too
you
many
believe
games.
it?
So
Too many games.
I know. I don't believe it. But let's introduce these disembodied voices or these smiling faces for those people watching us on live streams. First, to my right or left, depending on how you're looking at it, is the Mistress of Magnificence, Mom. How are you, Linda?
I'm doing great.
Good to hear. And on the far right, on a phone today because his computer decided it did not want to work today, is the man behind the curtain, John Tomlinson. Sir, how are you?
Literally broke at 7:30, so that's great.
Oh,
That's rough. Well, hopefully.
It's okay. Like I used my wife's computer to download Windows, so I'm already on my way back.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good. You are not the person I'm worried
I'm
about when
savvy.
technology. Yeah, when technology breaks, you are not the person I am worried about. So, um, let's get to our good news because that's important. We didn't do it the last time because I was in a space, but it's been a few more weeks. And John, let's talk about it. What is your good news this week? Your unapologetic burst of positivity.
So in the past week and a half, I want to say, I
Yep.
have fixed my half bathroom that I broke. So
Good. We like
it's got
that.
everything but a vanity. It's got laundry in it and a toilet in it. I had to cut up the floor, put down new floor, put the toilet in, did everything myself, no problem.
Very impressive.
Uh, I broke heat on the second floor and I fixed that. And then registering your car in Massachusetts is so bad, it's easier to just go buy a new car.
jeez.
And I adopted 2 cats.
I did see
So
the
that's
cats.
Yeah,
So
they're
that brings
somewhere
you up to
around here.
That brings you up to 3 cats in your house, right?
Yes, and the old one was being a bit of a bully, but today he's been okay. So we're trying to integrate, but it's been we picked him up on Wednesday night.
We have somebody in the
So
chat wanting to know what are their names.
so what the girl's name is Princess. The younger boy's name is Black Cat. But we're trying like Mr. Kitty and some other stuff. And then the old man that I always had, his name is Haboob, which is the Arab translation of the word sandstorm.
Very cool. Very cool. Yep.
Yeah.
I knew you had one from before, and so
Yeah.
homie got some new siblings to play with. I'm sure we knew that it was going to take a little bit of time. But congratulations on fixing the bathroom. That is, I have replaced the toilet. Now I know people look at me and go, "Wait, Steve, how did you replace a toilet?" And I did. I've replaced two actually. Um, it's amazing what you can do with YouTube, and
Yeah.
like, and just going. And I have learned that just going slowly and watching YouTube videos just gets it done. It's amazing. I tell my kids that all the time, and they occasionally believe me. So, but it is an account. Like it feels great. Like for those that might be listening that are like, man, I just don't know that I can fix that thing. It's like, you know what? I bet you can for stuff like that. You know, like I don't know. I'm not saying anybody should be replacing pipes and furnaces and stuff, but like, you know,
I've been doing that.
replacing a broken toilet
That's a crazy
seat,
thing.
I promise you.
Pipes are one thing. Replacing a
Pipes
furnace,
have,
furnace, I've had to replace
see,
those. We
see,
hired that out for sure.
yes, pipes are so easy now. You buy these things called shark
Yeah.
pipe
I forgot.
fittings,
When I think pipes,
and those plug together now. Yeah.
yeah, I've done one of those too. When I think pipes, I think like scary stuff. But you're right. I'm not advocating
Yeah.
that people like destroy their homes to be like stubborn about doing it. What I'm saying is, if your toilet seat breaks, trust yourself. You can do it. If I can do it, so can you. I believe in you. Linda, what about you?
Yes. So I had a really great gamer milestone as my good news. I had connected with a company called Monster Couch at PAX East, and they had given me some Steam codes. Well, for the very first time, I have gotten a alpha code for a game that is in development, that is getting close to being out. So I got a code to play Flamecraft on Steam. My poor children, I'm like having them help me put the code in, set up OBS so I could try to record what I'm doing. I did successfully capture some gameplay, so I'm going to try to get that posted. That's my goal in the next week or so. But
If you send me the files, if you can't, send me the files and I will cut it down for you and then send it back.
okay.
Um,
I think I just need to like be a big girl and like try.
That's true.
'Cause I have not tried yet. So
I don't
I'll be
want to
honest.
say be a big girl. That's not something that I can say. But I think
I can say
just
it's fine.
yeah, exactly. But I think giving it a shot is
Yeah.
probably a good idea. But if you get stuck,
Okay. I can
I
also
do
bother
edit a
my
few
children.
videos now and again.
It's true.
So that's awesome. Listen, it is really cool to get game codes. You've gotten your share of board game shipments, but video game stuff doesn't normally come to you. And so that is very cool. And it's all because you made a really good connection at PAX where you tracked them down and were very excited and enthusiastic and they valued your thoughts and opinions. And they do really look to content creators, especially if they're doing, board game implementations on video games. They look for us because they want to know, if there's something wrong, if something doesn't feel right, because it's really hard to test everything. So they really do
Of course.
depend on us. So it is
Yeah.
actually useful stuff. So good job to you.
I'm excited.
Congrats.
I've got to give them some feedback. Like they requested feedback, and so
Yeah.
I'm excited to like write that up for them, and
That's
so that'll
awesome.
be really fun.
Yeah, they
I'm
sent it
excited.
to the right person.
They did.
I submitted my closed beta access request today for the Avatar: The Last Airbender fighting game that's supposed to be coming out next year. They have a closed beta the first week of December, and I am very hype about that. Although it is the same week as the closed beta for Tokon Fighting Souls, which I also requested entry in, and so if I get both,
You're
well.
gonna be busy.
I'm gonna be busy beating people up. I'm
True.
gonna be very confused. Am I Spider-Man or am I Toph? I don't know. So I'll either way. I'll be able to talk about it. So that will be very cool. So for me, my good news. I actually found out today. I can't give real details, but this is other job good news. I might have an opportunity. I already have the opportunity to build a website for like a big architectural firm in New York City.
Wow.
Like when I tell you the projects that I can't say anything now,
Of
but when I
course.
tell you the projects that they have worked on, you guys are going to be like, those guys. And I'm actually was invited to put in like a little bid to do their logo design,
Ooh.
which is mind numbing to think of, but it's also pretty cool. So I can't talk about it any more than that, but it's actually really cool. Got a neat little opportunity to do some artistry, which is not something that normally do. And remember, we talked about it this year. The theme of 2025 was "I am an artist?" question mark. And finishing up the year doing a logo for a big company. When we're done, I will tell you guys. The audience is going to have to wait. But when you guys are done, I'll tell you. When we're done, I'll tell you guys. It's actually kind of cool. So that is our
Sounds
good news. We do have a sponsor this week, and I'm going to do this right up front because I think it's very cool. This podcast and the Engaged Family Gaming magazine, which will be coming out very, very soon, it's with our graphic designer as we speak, is Loot Lock. Games are getting more expensive, and one of the ways they're getting more expensive is they're all adding in, everything has a microtransaction or a battle pass. We just had news that Ubisoft is not going to stop putting microtransactions in their premium price games because they think that it adds to the fun. We can argue that back and forth, but the reality is kids are playing games that have microtransactions, and so as parents, we have to manage that. Loot Lock is a service with a nominal fee that allows you to, it streamlines that process, makes it so that you can create an account for your kid where you can track some of the data, track their spending, which I think for a lot of us, that by itself is enough. But their premium account, which is only a couple of bucks, actually lets you give them, they are implementing the ability to give them bounties, which means you can say, hey, if you mow the lawn, I'll give you $10 so you can go buy whatever. And you just do it through the app. And that is very, very cool. It also helps with security because it creates like a virtual card that you can put into the system. So if something happens, like the system gets hacked or whatever, you are protected. So Loot Lock, we met them at PAX East, and I have been in contact with them since, and we are huge fans of these guys. I think this is a great tool. They really are trying to help use video games as a tool to not only teach financial literacy to kids, which is, man, I wish I had that when I was a kid, but also to help with security and convenience for parents, to make it so that it's a little easier to buy them stuff when you want to, right? Because we're not all saying no all the time. And man, would it be nice for it to be less of a pain when we do say yes? But we also want to have it be reasonable. So just go ahead and if you look up, there's a Loot Lock article right on the front page of EngageFamilyGaming.com, or just go to lootlock.com and take a look, and you'll see all sorts of information. It is very cool. Let's talk about what we're playing. And Linda,
Yes.
let's just go right to you because you've got the good news. Tell us, how is Flamecraft on Steam? I know you're playing the alpha. How broken is it? Because when I think alpha, I think busted.
I mean, it definitely, there's placeholders on a lot of the cards. There's a lot that says coming soon or placeholder, which I totally expected. But it seems pretty smooth. There were a couple hiccups for me personally just figuring out how to play it. Minor, like took me just a couple minutes to figure out a few things, like clicking just randomly figured it out. I also didn't do a tutorial to start. They did have one. I went back and looked for it after, and that was like I didn't think to like, hey, let me see if there's a tutorial first instead of it popping up. I made assumptions, which is novice me. But let's just say I've already played 5 games of it. So okay. That should say how I like it. It was very cozy. I timed one of the games just to see how long I was playing, and it was like 15 minutes to play a game.
Okay.
Which, that's a perfect time commitment to be able to do the whole game in 15 minutes. And that's with me like taking my time and still figuring it out. I think it was like my 3rd game I timed it just to see. But it was really easy to understand once I kind of got the rhythm of it. Because you just have a couple action choices per turn. And you're playing against the computer in this version. I don't know if it'll expand to online play, but it was really fun. And
That's awesome.
the artwork they do have is super cute and cozy. I can't wait to see when the placeholders are filled in with other imagery.
That
It'll be
is the
very
fun
cute.
part about watching alphas happen. And because you see stuff that's just, oh, that's a red box. That's clearly
Right.
going to be art. So that's very cool. And listen, we knew Flamecraft was a casual game. We knew it was going to be fast. I'm glad that it sounds like they've implemented it in such a way so that the game stays out of its own way. That is one of the challenges with board game implementations on video games. Sounds like they nailed it, which is good, or at least nailed it so far. But usually games don't start playing worse the longer they're in development. Usually it's
Right.
polish and things like that. I know you also have another game to talk about, and we may as well get it going because if we
All
don't
right.
talk about it, your husband is going to lose his darn mind.
He's gonna revolt, and we don't need a revolt from him. So I was required by marriage to purchase Gwent, which is a card game that is played within Witcher 3, the video game. And my darling husband has played so much of this during Witcher 3 that when I saw they had an actual tabletop version of it, it was one of those I have to buy it. And I'm so glad I did because you've played it with him. I've played it with him. He's had our oldest play it with him. He's really enjoying playing it on the tabletop and teaching us. So the
Yeah.
Gwent is a card battling game. It's a two-player card battling. However, there are other play styles you can play. We have not explored them, but you can play up to 4 players. There's a solo mode. So there's more ways beyond how you can play it in the video game. But it's really neat that the cards are the same. So if anyone has played Witcher 3, this is pretty much exactly what you played. They have made the same cards, they have the same mechanics. It's just they took what was on the screen and made it into a physical game. And we even delved in and splurged and got play mats. So we have a monster mat, and I also got just this plain wood
You
one.
got to do the playmats. You got to do the playmats.
You want to open? Should I need to open them up? Is
No,
this
no, 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 no.
required?
Well, I mean, go ahead,
But-
but yeah, you got to. I mean, you got to get the playmats.
Oh,
When it's a
it
game
does
that
come
you
with
guys
a-
like so much.
Yeah. And the game does come with a paper mat, so you don't have to buy it. And what's really nice is you could just buy this box and you never have to buy another thing for the game. However, there are expansion packs, there are booster packs for it, so you can expand, you can go bigger. I also didn't get the deluxe edition. I chose just to get the regular one, but there is also a deluxe edition that I'm going to be trying to get some pictures of when we go to PAX Unplugged because they will have it there. But yeah, I just got the standard version versus deluxe
I
because
mean, listen, that's
can
fine.
always
You can
upgrade
always
later.
deluxify later. You can deluxify
Exactly.
later. That's fine. I'm a huge fan of getting play. I think playmats when you're upgrading a board game, like a playmat is just a really good way to do it, especially if
Yeah.
it's a game that's like a card game or, like if it's that kind of thing. The playmats are just they're so useful and
Yeah.
they really can just add to the aesthetic of the game. So I'm a huge fan. When
Yeah.
you said you bought them, I was very happy.
yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm so excited that you guys have
Yeah.
this because it's been a while since John has played a board game with us, and this is pulling him to the table. I do
It
want to
really
remind
is.
everybody, Witcher 2 or Witcher 3, not for the kids.
Not for kids, not at all.
But the
this
board game,
the
yep.
the card game, it's fine, perfectly fine. I do have to say this is not a beginner game by any means. This is definitely meant for somebody that knows how to play a card battle game, and you do have to tailor your deck before you play. So having some background knowledge of at least how to build a deck. So Magic the Gathering players will be right at home in this, or anyone that has played a card battling where you have to curate your deck. Because if you try to use all the cards, it will not go to your benefit. So this is definitely not a beginner game, but it's okay to play with, I wouldn't have young kids play this. This is complicated, but there's no content that's inappropriate. Nothing's inappropriate. I think it's rated 14 plus for recommendation for age. So
Yep. And we actually went through the deck
yes,
to
and we
look
made
to
sure
see
that
if there were any problematic cards, and they did a good job of kind of hiding some of that stuff.
yes.
So, John, I understand you've been hanging out in space a little bit.
Yeah, so I've been playing the Outer Worlds Part 2. They are the team that made Fallout New Vegas, which is where we're going to go in the TV show in next month.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a great team. Everything they make is excellent, and it's just more Outer Worlds. It's very that tongue in cheek, but like if you took Fallout and like took like the graphic style of Fallout, cleaned it up, like made it very solid, and then took the humor from like a Borderlands and you kind of put that together, that's what it is. It's very like that tongue in cheek Borderlands comedy, but like not as slapsticky, more of like the
Sure.
old timey music type of stuff. And it's just more fun. Like, it's very much like Futurama type jokes because there's like the auntie's choice or something like that, or just like grandmas in or moms in Futurama. So very very fun, very cool game. You know, just more of the same. So very excited, and it's on Game Pass, of course. So
Oh, Steve, you're muted.
It is another one that is. Well, I had to mute myself
yeah,
because I had a teenager that decided to yell to his siblings while he was running down the stairs, and I'm glad that I
as
hit the mute button
like
before
you
he
do.
cussed. Yeah, exactly. It's like, dude, this is a podcast day. Oh, I forgot. So anyway, Outer Worlds 2, another one not for the kids. This is a action. It's
No,
a Bethesda role playing game. But I got us covered with a game for the kids this week, and I'm gonna mention that. But I do want to. You did mention Borderlands 4, and I do want to just say very quickly. I have played that. I put a fair amount of time into it, and it is exactly what you think it is. Borderlands. So if you like Borderlands, Borderlands 4 is exactly what it is. But I do want to say Nintendo sent me a copy of Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment, and we do know that I like a good Muso game. Amanda's not here, so I can't torment her about it. I'll have to bring it up again on the next episode. But let me tell you, this game's freaking good, yo. This takes place during Tears of the Kingdom, and you follow Zelda while she is missing. So you follow her story as she is in the past doing stuff. I have not finished it yet. Probably put about 10 plus hours into it. Um, I mean, the characters are all really cool. They have these awesome team up attacks now, which are just so sick. And one of the characters that you can play as is a Korok with a gun.
Oh wow.
Well, not really a gun, but like he shoots projectiles. Um, and it is, I mean, it runs like a dream on the Switch 2. So this is definitely one I would recommend for the Switch 2. If it, I know they technically released it for the Switch 1, but I'm not. I don't think that this will run at all. But the so yeah, that's Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment. It came out last week, I think, last Thursday, and I definitely, I mean, I'm biased because I do love me some Buso games and I do love Legend of Zelda, but I think this is a very cool one to keep your eye on. And if you played all the other Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, if you're interested in that story, this does fill in a bunch of gaps, and I think that is very cool because it tells a part of the story we didn't know about. So that is awesome. So those are the games that we've been playing.
Sounds like a
So
lot of good stuff.
yeah, we played some great games. But speaking of great games, let's talk about our holiday gift guide because it is that time. Now, I do want to say we're going to focus our energies here on the video game and board game lists because that's what we are here. We're not going to go over the whole list. We're going to kind of talk about some of the highlights from them. And we're going to encourage folks to follow the links. But we do also have a tabletop role playing game gift guide for folks that are buying gifts for people who do play Dungeons and Dragons or the Marvel Multiverse role playing game or other things like that, Pathfinder. So we will also link that one in the comments as well. Very cool accessories and things like that. So, Linda,
Yes.
why don't we start with the board games?
Sure.
Because this is
All right.
kind of where we would do Mom's playlist. So kind of like,
Sounds good.
you know,
I didn't pull them because some of the games I have and some I don't, so I'm just going to kind of talk through them.
That's fine.
I wanted to highlight just a couple from the gift guide. There's around 16, I think, games that I recommended. I could give lots more recommendations. So if you have something beyond that people want, I can give lots more ideas. But the first one I wanted to say is one we've talked about a bunch this year. And I feel like it's such a great game in a lot of categories, and that's Flip 7. And that one has kind of taken the card games by storm. It's fits as a party game. It's a portable game. It plays a bunch of people. It's easy to learn. It fits in a small sock if people are looking for something small. It fits a lot of categories, and it's really fun. I know the first time we played, we were just pleasantly surprised with how engaging and how fun this game is. And the rules are so simple. You're pushing your luck. You're deciding if you're taking another card or stopping, and you're trying to get up to 7 unique cards. And if you repeat a card, you bust. And there's a couple special cards, but that's the whole game. Like I just explained it. We can go play it now. It's so simple to learn. So that is like my number one. If you have to buy one game, that's the one to have in your house. I think everybody needs to have it in their game cabinet, whether you're a casual gamer or a veteran, heavier weight board game player.
I agree with that 1,000%.
Yeah. This is one that needs to be like on in every house. Every cabin needs to have this for playing in the evening. So that is number one. The next one I wanted to talk about, I have not gotten to play it yet, but I'm hoping to get my hands on it really soon. We saw it at Toy Fair, is Villainous Unstoppable. And I have played Villainous before, but this is for younger or less experienced players, because Villainous is not an entry-level game. It's a little heavier. It's more of a midweight game. And there's a lot going on. It is asynchronous with the skills, but Villainous Unstoppable, while still being a little bit asynchronous, takes it down, and it's approachable by, I believe it's 7 and up. And with this, it has a lot of the elements of the main Villainous game, but they've streamlined it and simplified it so that you could have almost anyone playing it, whether you're a novice, whether you're new to the property, whether you're younger, or you just want a lighter game. And so this is something that I think will be really an amazing addition to anyone's collection because of what it provides. And Villainous is such a huge property. This can be a stepping stone, I think, for so many people. Start with the easier one and then move up. And then, I even have my Marvel Villainous behind me. There's so much out there for Villainous if you like that play. So,
absolutely.
So that's a great one from Ravensburger. The next one I wanted to bring up was one we got to play at PAX East, was Caution Signs. And this was another one that took me by surprise. It's a party game, but it's got a different spin to it. Basically, it's called Caution Sign because you basically are having the top and bottom of the sign, and it's an object, a noun, and an adjective, basically, and they get mixed, combined. You're drawing it in secret, and then you lay it out with some extra ones to make it tricky, and they're mixed up. So the guesser has to match the two parts and see, based on your picture that you're sketching, what goes together. And I'm not a great artist, but it was something I could handle skill-wise. It was definitely something approachable, very light and easy. And because it's a different spin on those drawing party games, I really enjoyed the difference in how you had to be a little more creative and just you had to come at it a different way because of these adjectives, which I thought was kind of neat. So that one was really fun to play.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one too. We love we love the Wise Wizards, folks.
Yeah, Wise Wizard. And that one's from the Wacky Wizard subcategory that they have. And definitely one to check out. It's really, really fun and easy. Speaking of another one that's fun and easy, is from Happy Camper, is Combo, and this is one of their games. They only have a small library so far, but they are growing quickly. And
Yeah.
this one, you're making combos a la poker, but not quite. So are making sets, and they have a key that you can look at for what are more valuable sets and what are less valuable. And it's all fruit based, so it is a little different than using standard cards. And you're trying to make these more valuable sets. But the twist is it's cooperative, kind of. This is a semi cooperative game because you're playing out cards and you are, but you're scoring individually. So you are kind of trying to help yourself, but you have to work with other players. And so based on what people play out, that affects what's used to score. And only people that participated in the set that scores the most get points. And they got a really cool little map that how you can keep track of your points with the cards. And it's they did a really great job designing it. It's very streamlined. So I was really impressed with that.
So far, I've loved everything that company has come out with, and it's no
Yes,
surprise because it's the guy that was behind Game Right. So
absolutely.
we know that he's cruising to have a big library, and everything from them is great.
So far of their library, I think there's 4 or 5 games out at this point, and I have 3 of them, and I've enjoyed all 3 of them, and I would recommend all 3 of the games that they put out. So, and I can't wait to play the next one or ones that are out, but they keep
Absolutely.
growing, which is great. So, do you want me to give a couple more?
How about one more, and then
One
we'll
more?
move over to the video game side.
Perfect. Sounds perfect. So the last one is from the OP. It's Hutan, which is a tile laying game. And it's a really neat spin on tile laying because you're building as you're filling up areas of flowers. So the idea is you're in a rainforest and you're laying these beautiful flowers to cover areas. And there's perimeters in each section. And you're trying to fill these little sections. And when you fill a section, you are growing trees. When you get enough trees, you're bringing in animals, and this is all scoring points, of course. And it's interesting because you're picking cards to see what you can get for the flowers to lay, but you might have to make choices that are not advantageous to your what you need to place. So it is pretty challenging. I really enjoy that they have ways you can scale it up or you can scale it down. So in the standard version, if you have an area that is incomplete, you do lose points. However, if you want to make it more family friendly or friendlier for younger players or novice players, you can eliminate the penalty. So you only get points for what you build. There's no penalty if you have incomplete sections. And that slight change, I feel like, would make a huge difference with some players who get very frustrated by not by losing points for not completing a section. So I really appreciate that they thought of that small modification to make it that you can scale it down very very easily without really changing anything except the scoring. So,
Yeah, that's
but
awesome.
just beautiful and it's so easy to play.
Great. We love that.
Yeah.
And that's not even all of it. We
Nope.
have
That's just
we that that's like a third of the list. So if that didn't give you something, well, first of all, buy Flip Seven. Follow the link in our notes. Go use the Amazon link to buy Flip Seven. Full disclosure, we are Amazon affiliates. Helps pay for the hosting. So go buy Flip Seven, and if that's not enough, go through the rest of the list. And take a look because Linda worked really hard to curate a good list of games that cover a bunch of different genres, etc. And again, we got tabletop role playing games too. You'll find that list right up on the homepage as well. So let's now. I'm going to talk a little bit about video games. So it's impossible to do this without talking about the elephant in the living room, which is can't really talk about video games without talking about the consoles on which you play them. So, Linda, you actually had someone ask you a question because they know you are part of this team. And I thought I would. Why don't you tell that story, and then
sure.
I'll tell you what we told her.
Absolutely. So one of my colleagues came up to me and she said, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting my children a Switch. Which one should I get? What do you think? Is it good to get that? What she wanted recommendations on what I thought was going to be the best option for her children. And she's got, a younger one and a little bit older one, but not real big. So she's got a nice range with the age there. And I immediately was like, "Oh, we just have some content. Let me give you the link, and I'll answer any questions you have." And she actually came back and told me what she decided. So, do you want me to give? I can give that away, or I can
Well, why don't you share it, and then I'll
share
talk
it.
about what
Okay.
we told her.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had said definitely get the Switch. Absolutely, if you are debating between getting the original Switch or the Switch Two, definitely go Switch Two because and I said I've only heard good things, and the our team members that have them have only really had good feedback by and large, and we're going to talk about that feedback, but. I think that's the route she's going to end up going because she wants to be able to give that to her children to play with each other and with their friends.
Sure. So the answer we gave her, and when you talk to me, is it really comes down to obviously economics is the number one thing,
Of
right?
course.
The Switch Two is a very expensive piece of equipment. There's no way around that. It's $500. So first and foremost, my recommendation, don't mind me while I plug in my headphones because they are starting to beep at me. Um, so first and foremost, if you don't, let's all feed our kids, pay our car note first, right? But assuming that is taken care of and recognizing that these are luxury entertainment devices, the Switch 2 is an amazing device. We just got data from Nintendo that they are uh, that they sold 10 million Switch 2s in the first since launch, which
Wow.
is keeping up pace with both the Switch 1 and the PS5. So this is clearly the market likes it. That what's good about that? You might say like, well, who cares if what does it matter to me if everybody else buys it? Well, if the more people buy a console, the more games come out for it because the more support it gets, and the longer it will be on the market. And so, if you're spending $500 on a console, you want something that's not going to be gone in a couple of years. And I feel very strongly that the Switch 2 will be around for quite some time. So, there are a bunch of really good games for it. And that came out this year. Donkey Kong Bonanza is great. Mario Kart World is great. But the thing that's awesome about the Switch 2 is that it is fully backwards compatible. So if you have kids who have never had a Switch before, then all of those games, many of them are getting Switch 2 versions or are getting free upgrades like Mario Odyssey and things like that. So I am coming into this holiday very comfortable recommending the Switch 2 to parents that are interested in getting a gaming system for their kids. If you have younger kids that maybe aren't going to be able to notice technical foibles and aren't necessarily attached to the best and the brightest as far as graphics, then I think a regular Switch is perfectly okay. Um, it will play all the old Switch 1 games. There are not that many Switch 2 games that they'd be missing out on. So I think that's fine, especially if you have younger kids. But if you have older kids or if you're going to play, you may as well because you're going to want to upgrade eventually anyway. And the Switch 2 is an awesome piece of equipment. John, what do you think? You have any additional thoughts or comments on that one, or you want to just rubber stamp what I said?
Yeah, so like you said, if you have the money, it's a good bid because at this point with hardware, every single thing is not going down, it's only going up. So now's the time to buy because if you look at the market, no matter what, nothing's dropping anytime soon. So, and that's worldwide, that's not just the US. So, yeah, I think if you have the money, go ahead and get it. If not, and your kid doesn't care that much about, graphics, hardware, and they could play Fortnite on it, they could play Mario Kart on it, and their friends will have a blast. Mario Kart 8 is just as good as the new Mario Kart, you know. But yeah,
Awesome.
I agree.
Great. All right, and the other two consoles, PlayStation 5 and Xbox. Here's my comment on those. Unless you absolutely need to play those games on those systems, like you as the adult, or an older sibling or something like that, I don't really think there's any reason to buy those consoles for the kids. Everything that is for the kids will play on a Nintendo Switch 2 just as well. So if you were going to buy a PS5,
You know who's for the children?
who?
You know who's for the children?
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang.
Yeah, well,
Wu-Tang.
the Wu-Tang game isn't out yet. So, and that's probably going to be
Yep.
multi-console. So the only exception is Spider-Man. That is the one exception. So if they are super into Spider-Man, then I guess that helps with the PlayStation thing. But I still feel pretty strongly that the Switch 2 is the right call for just about everybody, barring some very specific circumstances. Okay, let's hop into some games though, because that's the fun part, right? So I'm gonna go through a few. Again, I'm not gonna go through the whole list. First, I want to talk about, and we do have some indie games here too that I want to talk about. And the first one I want to talk about is called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown. This is an indie game. It is on everything. It's on PC, it's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox, it's on Switch. This is a game, full disclosure, Amanda was the producer on this game. However, I'm, in spite of my inability to be non-biased about it, I don't care. This game rules. First of all, who's not going to like a Ninja Turtle game? What's interesting about this is it's a turn-based Ninja Turtles game that still feels like an action game. It's very cool. It is very inexpensive. So if you have kids in your house that really like Ninja Turtles, then here's the thing. Ninja Turtles games are very inexpensive, so you're getting them all anyway. This is a very cool change of pace. Especially if you got kids that are maybe struggling with some of the action button style, right? Like maybe if they're having bad buttons. This does slow it down because it is turn-based. So it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown. Again, it's on everything. Next, and again, we were actually given a code for this one around the launch of the Switch 2. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. Right now it's out on Switch 2, and PC, but I would assume it's coming out to everything. This is, Story of Seasons is by the same team that used to do Harvest Moon, which is the granddaddy of the farming sims. So if you have been looking at people online playing Stardew Valley and have been playing through all these cozy farming games, and you were looking for one to get into, this is a great one. And the reason I like this is that instead of just having your daily loop where you get up, you water your crops, you pick things up, you sell them, and you move and you build relationships with people in town, this adds a weekly loop where you are slowly, you're not just harvesting crops, but you're also building stuff at the windmill, which some of those things take multiple days, and then there's recipes. And so, dare I say it, Linda, this has a bit of an engine building mechanic in it, because you are planting crops that you can turn into things at the windmill, which you can then take those ingredients on Friday night and then sell and combine them into something and sell on Saturday morning. And it is that crunchy loop that you get with that extra time in the week is super cool. Also, this game is just adorable. Like, the character models are super cute. All the people in town are hilarious. This is a great one. It's also not super expensive. It's compared to other full price games, because it's only about $50. Last non-exclusive game I want to talk about is they did re-release a remastered version of Plants vs. Zombies. So us olds that remember Plants vs. Zombies, we can now play Plants vs. Zombies Replanted, which is on everything, and it's about $20, and it's the old game in HD. And let me tell you, it looks like we remembered it back then. Everything was a little fuzzy, and we were probably playing it on crappy laptops. Get it and play it on a nice TV. It really does make the stupid animations pop just that much more, And now that I say that, a bunch of people hear that. Everybody just had that go through their head.
So much time on that app.
Yeah, right. So here's the thing about this year. For PlayStation and Xbox, none of them had any exclusives come out this year that were family friendly. Um, I don't know, like so. We actually in our gift guide we just kind of put the same games as last year, because frankly, Astrobot and Spider-Man 2 and Star Wars Outlaws are they still exist, so we would do that. PlayStation really didn't put out a lot of games this year, and all of them were either Headshot Central or Samurai Central. And I don't know if anybody played Ghost of Yotei. It is not for the kids.
No, I watched a lot of
Nintendo.
gameplay of that.
Nintendo, however, they hooked us up a little bit. We have the Switch 2, but we also have Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is probably one of the best 3D platformers in the last handful of years, if not ever. I don't know if John has any arguments with that. It is very, very good. And Mario Kart World, which is, it's the new Mario Kart. And for all the people that are like, well, like if you don't like that one, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still exists, and you can play it. John? Oh, he's breaking up a little bit on us. We can't hear you, Buckaroo. Still can't hear you, man. Let me. I tried to just mute him and unmute him to see if it would do it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
There
I
you
can.
are.
I don't know what kind of magic you just did, but you did it.
Yay.
What are
Don't
your
forget,
thoughts
we have a
on-
big Animal Crossing update coming in January.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Good point. So, a bit of a non sequitur. I was talking about Donkey Kong and blowing up worlds, but we'll talk about Animal Crossing. So Donkey Kong Bonanza, great. Also, new Mario Kart, great. And that is a good point. We did get notification in the last week or so that Animal Crossing is getting a massive update, including like Lego furniture,
Oh wow.
which, you know, that by itself that shocked me just because that's a collab that like makes so much sense, but I just never would have imagined it. So if you have either played Animal Crossing and just kind of slept on it, keep your eye on it because January we're getting a pretty big free update, and it's getting graphics updates on Switch too, which even little games like Animal Crossing, there was a lot going on some of our islands, and it will run a little bit smoother on the Switch too. But it has but there is a free update coming to the both the Switch and Switch 2 versions that have a lot of new stuff. That new furniture, there's a new system. You're decorating rooms in a hotel. You can have up to 3 dream islands, which are basically just new islands. So you can just make more islands, which is without having to destroy your own, which is very cool. So Animal Crossing is one of those. If your family has never played Animal Crossing before, maybe you're a new Switch owner like your friend Linda, Animal Crossing is one of those games they should put on their list or think about it, especially if they like the idea of just having like a cozy little, farming slash hanging out with animal people game.
Yeah, that's a perfect one. Actually, I'm going to recommend to her.
Yep. So, I'll put all the links to all of our gift guides in the show notes. But that's about it, guys. We did it.
It's a lot
I-
covered.
Yeah.
I do want to appreciate all the people listening. I know we've been having some weird audio difficulties, and I don't know where that's coming from, but we will figure that out between now and next episode. Our next episode will be after Linda and I get back from PAX Unplugged with Marie, who I'm guessing is in the chat. So we are going to have all sorts of stuff from our time in Philadelphia to talk about. We already have a whole bunch of behind closed doors experiences lined up. So we are excited to share that news with you. So everybody, thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed recording. We will be back in 2 weeks with our impressions of PAX Unplugged. And until next time, don't forget to get your family game on. We'll see y'all soon. Bye now.
Bye.
Hi, guys.